Hi everyone, this is Wanda. This is my first tutorial video, so bear with me. I am going to try to help you guys make the cat. First off, you want just some yarn of whatever color you want. I'm going to start with the head. And with this, you want to leave a pretty long tail to start with, and then your starting knot, which you loop over the top, and you tuck it up from the back and you pull. I like to leave about a finger. You want it tight enough that it's not going to show the stuffing when you stuff it. For the head, I'm going to do 9. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So you'll have a chain of 9. What I do is I take the tail and I tuck it in that last loop to form a circle. And then you want to pull your working yarn so it's snug and hold to that. So you have the tail and your loops. And if you check, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9's in there. Now that you have your circle made, this is your working yarn, this is your tail. I always flip it this way and tuck my working or my tail out of the way. You can leave it out like this or tuck it in, either one. So that way you have your circle and it goes around this way. You want to take your top loops here and that's where you're going to put your working yarn through. Some people come from the outside in, I go from the inside out. It's just easier for me that way. And you go around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now your back right here would be number 9, but since we pulled it tight, I don't count that one. That's why I always do an extra one. If I'm going to do like a circle of 8, I'll do 9, just so I've got that knot there. So you have your first row, and it should look like that. And then the next row, you go into these loops here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's your next row. So it will look like this. This is the start of the head. You'll do however many rows you feel like you need for the size of the head that you want. So this is row 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Depending on the markings or the color of the cat that you're doing, or any animal, will be how many rows that you do. You can start the head where this would be the neck, and it would go up like this, or you can go this way with the head. So then the neck would connect here. If it's just going to be like pure white, you just keep going with however many rows that you feel you need. With this one, I'm going to do color changes, so that will change here in a minute. I'm going to do another row of white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So it should look like that. And one reason why I go from the inside out, if you notice, it kind of opens up. So you're going to have more of a rounded shape for the head instead of a tube. So this is what it looks like. Once you get the size you want, you'll close off this end. But this is your marker so you know where your stitches are. So this is row 1. If you're going to be changing colors like I am on the cat, you just finished your stitch 8. This would be stitch 1 of the next row. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it right here to do a color change. So I'm going to pull that last stitch out, that stitch 8, and I'm going to take and clip right there and connect my new color. And I connect it by the burn method, which you just light the end, take your next color and you squish it on there. And I always kind of pinch it between my fingers to kind of make sure that there's no sharp pieces from that little piece of plastic that you burn. And there's your new color. So this is stitched back to 8. And you want to make sure that your next color lines up right here. So then you would do row 1, or stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So now you're back at where you started. And I'm going to do this for about 3 rows, and then I'll come back. Okay, I have finished my 3 rows of the brown. Here's 1, 2, and 3. What I'm going to do on this next row is I'm going to decrease how many loops there is. Right now there's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want the head to start coming down into a taper for the muzzle. So I'm going to decrease it so it kind of gets a little narrower. So to decrease, I'm going to start with loop 1, loop 2, and then on loop 3 and 4 I'm going to decrease here, which means I'm going to pull my loop through loop 3, make it just a little bigger than normal, and feed it through loop 4. So you just combined loop 3 and 4 into 1. So if you look now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 instead of 8 loops. Then I'm going to go, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is loop 5, loop 6, and then at loop 7 and 8 I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to feed it through. Got some fuzz on there. And then I'm going to attach it and feed it through to 8, which is going to reduce it to now 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to go around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And as you can see, when you start to pull it together, it's a little thinner now. So it kind of slants down. To close this off, I'm going to leave probably about 12 inches of yarn, and I'm going to make a cut. So I have my 6 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to take, to close it off, I'm going to feed this through the loops. So there's loop 1, loop 2, loop 3, loop 4, loop 5, and loop 6. And you'll want to pull this snug. Just be careful you don't break this yarn. And you want to pull it snug. And kind of check your work. And if you see, it tapers in and makes a really cute little muzzle. And what I do is I try to find a spot back in the middle to take my yarn and feed it back through to the inside so it's out of the way. So it's now on the inside. And you can knot this so you don't have to worry about it slipping out. And just tuck it in there. So now you have the start of your cat head.